Welcome back, guys, to the channel. Went ahead and tore out all the carpet in here. I'm going to go over some key things to do and what to not do in order to be successful when installing your hardwood flooring. So follow along and I'll show you how to do it. You want to check your moisture level between the subfloor and the hardwood floors and make sure that the variation is no more than 2% for boards that are 3 inches wide and above. We have a moisture reading of 6.2. Then we'll check the hardwoods. It's 8.2, so we are good here. We know that we were in that 2% range. So the first step is going to be measuring length times your width. So in this case, we're just going to make it simple. 10 by 10, that's going to be 100 square foot. So that's going to be what you want to order when it comes time to purchase your hardwood flooring. So also you want to take into mind that you want to have a waste percentage, and that's normally about 10% waste. So 10% of that 100 square foot is 10 square foot. So you want to order 110 square foot. But in this case, I have 16 by 16 here. But totals out, time I add in the closets, that's going to be about 320 square foot. So moving right along. Next, we want to make sure after we pull up our carpet, we want to make sure our floor is clean, nice and flat, level, and all of the annoying little staples, they gotta come out. So I'm just gonna start in the corner, walk around the area looking for any screws or nails that are poking up out of the subfloor, screw those down, and continue on in the closets, making sure that there's nothing in there as well. Here I'm vacuuming, making sure that I don't see any staples. If I do, I have some pliers in my other hand, and I can just go ahead and pull those up as I am vacuuming. Once all that is clean, you go ahead and roll out your underlayment. Here I'm using a product called Aquabond. It has like a asphalt type of material to it. It is made specifically for hardwood floors. So this is a very good product. Picked it up here at a local flooring company called Jeffco. Now as I'm rolling this out, I'm going to go ahead and discuss what you should do prior to this as far as bringing in your hardwood flooring and making sure the moisture's good there. Once you get home with all your hardwood, you want to bring it inside and let it acclimate at least 7 days. I know some people say 72 hours. Me, personally, I bring it in for at least a week. The reason you bring in the wood and let it acclimate is because you want it to reach its equilibrium moisture content of your house. So in English terms, if you brought it in and started nailing it down, that moisture would start releasing and it would further cause cupping, warping, contracting, expanding, stuff of that nature. Getting back to the underlayment, here I'm in the closet. You just want to measure out the length of the closet as I did there, cut it, and then just staple one end down and move on to the other side. Cut your corners for the opening. And that's about it. Here I'm running some boards perpendicular to my floor joist. I'm going to go ahead and cut out this door jamb a little bit so I can slide this threshold board underneath it. It's very important also that you run your boards perpendicular to the floor joist and not parallel, because in the future it'll help prevent them from separating. And right here I'm just screwing down a board behind the chalk line that I ran where I'm running my first row. This will allow me to use my 15 gauge nail gun to go ahead and shoot a few nails in here without kicking the board back. I want it to remain on that line because my walls are definitely not square. And you're probably wondering, why is he just not running his first row next to the wall? Well, because the reason I'm not is because the wall is not square, and I need these boards to join up perfectly against the board that's going horizontally inside the door jamb, the threshold. So that's the reason I went ahead and dry stacked those boards in the beginning and just made sure that once they ran out off that wall that they would indeed have a good connection, no gaps, because I want that to look really good right there, because that's where the carpet's going to meet the hardwoods. So, and here I'm going back, I'm just double checking my measurements. It's 30 1/4, walk down, make sure we're 30 1/4 right here. Make sure also, because the chalk line that I put, it's on the paper, and that paper can move a little bit, so just a little bit will throw your boards way off by the time you're at the end of the run. And basically we'll just continue on moving this board and screwing it down just to hold as a brace so I can get a good, tight, secure fit on this first run. Now I'm interested in reading these comments on this first run here. I know there's different ways you can go about doing this, but this is the way that I decided to do it, and I'm pretty certain that it will hold because I am using 15 gauge nails. But you could go ahead and cut out that strip the same width of the board of underlayment, and then use a product which is superb in my opinion. It's called PL Premium. It's got excellent adhesion strength. You could just go ahead and glue all that down and nail it, and that would help out a lot. But I'm pretty sure this isn't going anywhere. All right, now that we got our first run coming up to the wall, this is an easy way, instead of using your tape measure, this is more proficient. You just take this right here, flip it over to where the tongue is facing the tongue. This, make sure it's touching the wall here, and mark your line. But you want to give yourself about a 1/4 of an inch. Allow for your expansion over here. So don't mark it right up to the board right there. Give yourself a little bit of room for it to expand. Now, put it up in there. There you go. Easy peasy. All right. Now that we got our first run done, got this pneumatic stapler. It's got 2-inch staples in there. I set the air pressure to 90 pounds on my compressor. You can rent these things from Home Depot, Lowe's, but it's pretty simple. I went ahead and, even though I have 15 gauge nails in here, I went ahead and screwed this down just for more support, because when I hit this, it's got a ton of pressure. I don't want it. I don't want it kicking back and knocking this offline. Now, when you hit your first one, you want to make sure that it's driving all the way down. If it starts to split the wood, that means that your air pressure is up too high. So you'll need to lower your air pressure. And vice versa, if the staple is sticking out, you need to increase your air. But right there, it's nice and flush, so we're gonna stay right at 90. Just like that, we'll just continue going on down the row. And when you're stacking here's another good thing, when you're stacking your boards, you want to always leave at least 6 inches from the gap. So see here, that's not in there now, but from here, you've got plenty of room. And the next gap's not till way down there, so you can go ahead and tap it in with the hammer there. Here, so I'm good. I've got plenty of room up there. You want to make sure you're nice up there, butted up against it. There's a little seam. There we go. This is a pain having to unscrew this and screw it back up, but it's going to save yourself a lot of time. And it's going to, like I said, keep this board from moving. And if you start seeing a gap right here that you want to close, if you hit it with a hammer and it doesn't close, that means you're going to have to probably put a few more staples in as you go along. Because if you just put one a foot apart or 6 inches, it's not going to be enough force to close that gap. So I'm going to move over about 2 inches. Another 2 inches. Do the same thing. Okay, so we're here at the door. It will not come, it won't go up because it's hitting the wall, so we want to mark a line right here. And the width from here to here is about probably 1 inch. We'll just leave it right there. So basically, we just need to cut out this little area to knock that in there. like that. Okay, didn't cut out enough here because you still have the gap, so let's take it out. Cut just a little bit more off. Okay, I think that's gonna do it. There you go, nice flush fitting. We're coming up where we're getting real close to the wall here, and obviously you don't have enough room for your hammer to hit, so you can't use this any longer. So all this is going to have to be used with this 15 gauge nails. And you're still going to use your hammer. Try to hit that in a little bit as you go. You don't have enough room to get the right angle, so you're just going to have to shoot a few face nails in there and then just putty them in. You won't be able to tell. So that's how you manipulate that, and you just really want to be aware of all your joints. You don't want, like, see right here, that's a little too close, but I think it'll be fine since it's in this corner. Okay, and once you get to your, once you get up here, you can't really get a hammer in here to knock this closer. You're going to want to use one of these pull bars. You can get it at Home Depot, Lowe's. All you do, stick it on here, hit it, and it'll pull it close. Perfect. Do the same thing. Continue on. This last one. I've got this ran all the way up close to the wall. That's done. Now we need to go this way. So we have a problem. This right here goes on the tongue, but the tongue's going that way. So the only way to remedy that is, this is called a spline. What you want to do, it's just like a tongue. You're just going to put some glue down in there here, and you're going to hammer it in, and then that creates a tongue, so we can turn this around and go this way. So I'll go ahead and get this glued in, and I'll show you how we start going this way. Yes, I am putting some glue here. I know a lot of people probably don't use glue, but I love glue. So yes, we will go ahead and add some glue and start hammering this on in. All right, now that we've got the tongue going this way, we're ready to lay this down, but guess what? We have a little issue here. So you have two options. We can take a oscillating saw and cut out this tongue all the way across and cut out the tongue here. And then it'll just be flat. Or we can leave this for its integrity and we can just make our own groove. Right here, we'll cut this out and come down about 1/4 of an inch in, and I can show you real quick how to do that. I'm just cutting out some grooves real quick. This is kind of a lengthy process, so I will spare you the boredom and go ahead and time lapse this for you. This fest tool is excellent for taking to job sites. It's very lightweight, portable, and does a great job at cutting. As we're getting closer to the closet door, I'm going to go ahead and discuss how we're going to handle this. So, what you'll want to do is you're going to put your board in where it's flush. And then you're going to take your square, you're going to mark right here, right past this edge, and then you're going to find your notch right here, and you just hold it, go ahead and scribe. So there, this is our line. I got a little off there. Alright, so here's our line. Now, let's back up. We're going to cut out the width from here to here out of here. So what we'll do is just mark right here. There's the line. Same for right here. And we'll just cut out this. take this here. Boom! Shakalaka, shakalaka. Hey Jude, what you doing, bud?
I'm so hungry, Uncle.
Oh, you are?
I want cheese crackers.
You want cheese crackers?
I want cheese crackers, Uncle.
Oh, you do,
I want some, Uncle.
You do.
Hey, can you give me some?
All right, we're moving right along. All right, guys, that wraps up the installation part. Stay tuned for the sand and finish, part 2 of doing your own hardwood floors. Thanks, guys.